I went to the Long Island Trading Card Show with one goal in mind, to get every single new Eeveelution EX card, then try to build a deck for the tournament they were running there and see how well we can do. And no, I'm not going for those SIRs, I'm not that rich, and also we're doing some post commentary here because the mic was really bad. Oopsie. My first stop went again to the venues at my buddy Starman's booth. He didn't have any Prismatic Evolution stuff unfortunately, but I did get some Ogre Pawns and this Full Art Briar. Now at the time this was recorded, Prismatic Evolutions had just come out, so it was really hard to find single copies of cards, especially these lower end EX cards, let alone sealed product, which was going for much over MSRP at the time. So I stopped by the next booth and we see Glaceon EX as well as Espeon EX for only $7 each, but I get the discounts for $12 total, saving $1 on each card. Stonks. 2 down and like 7 more cards to go. And there's also a few more support cards I need for the deck that we'll talk about later.
It's Japanese.
Oh, the Japanese ones look so nice too. Oh wow.
I just sold a few already.
Oh, that's older. That's the V-Star.
Yeah, this is the...
Yeah, this is the new ones that I'm looking for. Yeah.
So, would you want them?
Oh yeah, are these the only 2 that you have, or do you have?
That's all I have so far. At the moment, I kind of remember from my brain.
Okay, that's all good.
Pikachu?
Nah, I don't need Pikachu.
I'm really just looking for the EVs.
Yeah, let me see, just see how much they are.
Sure.
Last sold was $8.50, $6.70, and there was a 5 and then 6, so I would average this at like $7.
For Flareon?
Yeah, this one
Okay.
is the Flareon, is it? Was it? Vaporeon.
Yeah.
So that's like $7. And Flareon, let's see how much Flareon is. And it's going up. So last sold was $14.
Oh, wow.
11, then 11, so I would say like $12.
Okay. So 19?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, they're nice. I'm trying to get them and then play in the tournament for like the vlog. That's why. So hopefully I can get all the card ones that I need. Thank you.
Prize money at the tournament?
I think we win an Elite Trainer box with the new set.
What?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Not a bad deal to get Flareon and Vaporeon. I'll definitely need multiple Flareons for the deck I want to build, as Flareon's one of the best, if not the best, Eeveelution EX in competitive TCG stuff. And Vaporeon's just Vaporeon. The guy next to him though had Sylveon and a precious trolley card that I also needed for a different deck. I already have the Sylveon EX card since I was releasing Surging Sparks and I played Sylveon at Toronto Regionals back in December, but this newer Sylveon is the same card but with a different artwork, so we still have to get it for the challenge and it's pretty cheap, so let's pick it up. Here's a quick little haul so far. Still missing Jolteon, Leafeon, Eevee, then Umbreon, which is always the most expensive and sought after evolution whenever it comes out, and I really hope this one's not going to be too expensive. After that, I stopped by my buddy Jesse's booth, and look at that, we have Jolteon EX, I need one of those of course, and a Leafeon EX. I also picked up Dragapult because I needed that for a different deck that I wanted, and then chat a bit with Jesse.
Jesse?
I want the Umbreon, please.
Okay.
Can you break 100 though? I spent all my money and only have 100.
No, I'll have to just take the 100, I guess.
You drive a hard bargain, but I'm gonna need change.
So, 99. There we go.
18.
All right, 18. Drive a hard bargain.
Can you actually break 100 bucks?
Yes.
Okay.
I sold some cards to him too, and ended up walking out of the event with more money than I walked into, which is always a plus. By the way, chat, I was looking around from the very start for just regular Eevee EX as soon as I got there, and I saw a couple and thought, you know what, it's just Eevee EX, it's probably so common. I can come back later when this booth isn't so busy and pick them up somewhere else or find them somewhere else, whatever. That was a big mistake because I had the most difficult time finding Eevee EXs. I was asking everybody, do you have EVX? Do you have EVX? Do you have EVX? And everyone thought I meant like the super expensive SIR one, whatever, because it's a card show and most people at card shows are collectors who want the high-end cards. They're not insane people like me who just want every Eeveelution to build a really crappy Eevee deck, but it was a whole ordeal.
I seem to have forgotten to take my card from Jesse.
There you go. Hold on, I'll fix it to be nice. There we go. There we go.
They're taking my cards from me.
We have like 30 minutes before the tournament sign-up starts, and I need at least one Eevee for this deck, otherwise evolving my Eevees will be a bit of an issue. I searched high and low for this Eevee, At this point, I visited every single booth and only found Japanese EVXs, which we can't use for the tournaments, we need English cards. And another thing I realized here is we also need multiple copies of some of the other EVEXs if we want to build a somewhat competent deck. That's not all that we need though. We still need multiple copies of some of these EVEX cards, and I also managed to bring a lot of the staple cards needed to build the Eevee deck that I want to make, as I didn't want to have to track down a ton of these cards worth pennies that are staple cards, as most vendors probably wouldn't bother bringing these cards. As for the other Eeveelutions that I want multiples of, Flareon and Jolteon are some of the best ones, and looking at Japanese tournament results, some decks ran 3 Flareons and 2 Jolteons that did pretty well. So I managed to track down a second Jolteon, and with the money from the cards that I sold earlier, we'll have more than enough for 2 Flareons as well as the EVEX we're still missing. Part of why I had a hard time finding some of these cards was because most people at these card shows are collectors and want the highest rarity version of a card, in this case the really expensive SARs for the Eeveelutions, while I just wanted the cheapest versions for my personal collection so I could also build a deck. I asked every vendor in sight, do you have Flareon EXs? No, not that one, the regular one. Do you have Eevee EXs? No, not that one, the regular one. And pretty much everybody told me no. And then after meeting up with my buddy Powder, he takes me to his friend's booth, who is swarmed with customers because they have so many cards, and they go, hold on, let me check this box behind me. And then finally, they pull out an Eevee EX, the exact one that we wanted. 2 would be optimal for the deck, but we're running out of time, so let's pick up the last couple of cards we needed and then build this deck and sign up for the tournament. Now I may or may not have forgotten to record me getting the second Jolteon, but whatever. I wanted to make this deck as competitive as possible, so I put in the 3 Flareon EXs and the 2 Jolteon EXs. Unfortunately, we couldn't work with every single Eeveelution because of their energy requirements being so different, making it very difficult to build a deck. But I wanted to put as many as possible, so I at least put Vaporeon in there as well, so I have all 3 of the original Generation 1 Eeveelutions. Flareon has an attack that lets you charge energies from your deck to your benched Pokemon, so we use that to power up our other Flareons, Jolteons, and Vaporeon on the bench. All of the original Eeveelutions have the same secondary attack that is a whopping 280 damage for a Fire, Water, and Lightning energy, while Jolteon EX's first attack costs a Lightning and Colorless and can do 240 damage if you discard 2 energies. We're using cards like Glass Trumpet to get energies back from discard, as well as Crispin to attach energies from deck and search out another one that we might need. The ace-spec of choice is Scramble Switch because that's what this random Japanese list that I saw was using, although Sparkling Crystal as an ace-spec is also really good because it basically counts as an extra energy attachment on one of our Eeveelutions. The Crystal ace-spec would also allow us to attack with Flareon on our first turn that we can attack, because the base Eevee that we're running has an ability that allows it to evolve when it's in the active spot even the turn that it was played down. Then the rest of this deck is just cards to help us get to the Eeveelutions like Noctowl, search out trainer cards, Arven to get our tool cards and item cards that we need like Nestball to get our Eevees, and then Budew, which is a toxic card that prevents your opponent from using items and playing the game. Let's sit down for round 1, which has to be against somebody that I know from my local card shop, and he's playing Gardevoir, one of the best decks at the time, and still one of the best decks today, even though this event was 3 months ago. He had a difficult time getting multiple routes out early on, as I'm able to charge up a Flareon early on and get Eevee set up on the bench. We end up going down to just 3 prize cards left versus his 6, and our board looks great while he only has 1 Curly and Greninja down. He then hits us with an Iono to put our hand size down to 3 cards and his up to 6. And this is what Gardevoir likes to do. They play from behind and then build up momentum with comeback cards like Iono or Counter Catcher. He takes out my Flareon a few turns later as we go down to 2 prizes versus his 4, but his trade of Iono's and ability to build up his board slowly turns the tide in his favor. We managed to get down just a single prize card left, my opponent needs to take 2, but now that he has Gardevoir EX set up to attach as many energies as he wants to from his discard pile to his second type Pokemon at the expense of taking just some minimal damage, he's able to counter capture my Eevee EX and finish it off for the last 2 prizes, putting us down to 0-1 in the tournament. A big issue with that matchup is, while we were able to get up a lot of KOs early on, we're only taking 1 prize KOing his Routes or Curlias, while he's taking 2 prizes KOing our Eevee EXs or KOing our Flareon EXs. I get ready for round 2 by doing some shiny hunting on Soul Silver for a shiny Mareep that I'm trying to go for, and learn that we have the round 2 bye, meaning we just get a free win. The tournament's only 3 rounds, and top 4 get prizes, so if you win the last round, there's a good chance we get the top 4 prizes and get some Prismatic Evolution packs or a plushie. In the third and final round, we're up against Ancient Box, which was the deck that I was bringing to locals around this time. It focuses on getting ancient cards in your discard pile so Roy Moon can do more damage, and it's a really fun deck. It can do massive damage on single prize attackers, and unfortunately our Eevee Brigade just wasn't enough to keep up. I had a hard time setting up as we didn't get a good starting hand, and he was able to train Roaring Moons, killing my 2 prize EX Pokemon, putting us to 1-2 in the tournament, not getting any prizes. I technically didn't win any games because we had the 1 bye, but I still had a good time building this deck and trying to be competitive in this tournament. I also managed to pick up this copy Pokemon Platinum for a pretty good price at the card show, which is something I did not expect to see here. Want to give a big thank you to the Long Island TCG show for giving me a free pass to the event, as I had a ton of fun here and definitely plan on revisiting this in the future. If you guys want to see some more TCG style vlogs like this, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, have a great rest of your day. I'll see y'all next time, and bye bye.